but UNC won in the Sweet 16, and BYU said, we want to host. What they didn't say was we want snow when we host, but it is what it is in Utah, and we are underway in one of the biggest games that's ever been held at this field. Both teams love possession, of course. BYU, one of the top offenses in the country. UNC has only allowed 2 or more goals twice all year. It's
quite the matchup to be able to have such a firm defense. You had mentioned these teams have played each other multiple times, and many of those same defenders have played against many of these same forwards and already recognize their styles of play.
Because of COVID, a gajillion seniors on both sides as Kendall Peterson will trigger. And you see all of the snow that was scraped off this morning, by the way. No tarp. It's a UNC throw-in. Check that. Headed out by Peterson, but as BYU does, they ask for some volunteers, and people show up, and they scrape the field this morning.
Well, they rally the troops, everyone from fans to members of the athletic department. We had a lot of the players' parents who are here in Provo, Utah, came to shovel the field, and they did so in under 3 hours.
Is that it? Just 3 hours? Lynette Hernandez, redshirt freshman for BYU. Try and clear it. Here's Foligno. Too far, that one blasted forward. And this is Senor, UNC's first opportunity in the box. Getting to her left foot, she shoots, and Hernandez says it's sky high and out as UNC puts the pressure on 90 seconds in.
It was a great look by Senor. She's showing her footwork and that she's not afraid to take players on 1v1. You see, she gets out on the end line. She has no problem taking Vaca on and then trying to get that quick little window. Hernandez with a good parry off of the side of the bar.
Senor, 6-game streak of at least a point, meaning at least an assist. Corner kick, BYU students making some noise. Far post, headed up, and in! 2 minutes in, UNC is on the board off the corner.
And that just shows how dangerous those corners can be. UNC with an absolutely beautiful header. That one just flies right over Hernandez. There's not a ton of power on it, but man, that rainbow of a ball as it's coming right up and out. Macy Bell with a beautiful header to just find the back of the net and put UNC on the board early.
The 5th-year senior from Kansas gets up and over Kendall Peterson, and UNC strikes first. Just the 2nd goal of the year for Bell, but UNC in control early.
And you see another look there. Bell just does a great job of coming in from behind her defender. She gets up and over
Jamie Shepard.
Jamie Shepard, you're right, and from there is able just to coolly put it away. And a beautiful corner kick take as well, to be able to put that just so nicely on top of the 6-yard box.
In the corners, a little muddier, so nice job to get that up and over and into the box. And UNC on top. Allie Senor with the assist, and she keeps that streak of getting at least a point intact. Macy Bell with the goal. 1-0. We'll see how BYU responds. Here's Brecken Mozingo. Crosses into the box and nearly headed. BYU upset about Bella Foligno hitting the deck, but it's cleared out for a goal kick.
Another good cross coming from Mozingo on that left foot. Foligno's trying to get the ball there. Gets a tiny bit of a nudge there by Bell. It's not going to be enough to call for a penalty kick.
Goal kick for Emmy Allen, the redshirt sophomore from High Point, North Carolina. She's given up 1 goal in 3 games in the tourney. It was to Towson in the first round. Foligno chasing this one down, and then Foligno bumps into the edge. Jennifer Rockwood not happy about this one either. Our officials tonight, Jacqueline Metz, the assistants Karsten Gilwald, Rachel Sweat, and the 4th official is Nathan Boone. How does this game change with an early goal like that?
Well, it gives UNC the advantage, obviously, not only on the score sheet, but now they can take a few more risks simply because they have that 1 goal. Now, that being said, there's still so much time left. I don't think UNC can really change how they play.
Mostly from the BYU side of things, yet BYU is constantly on the attack anyway, as if they were down, but right now, BYU on its heels a little bit, trying to settle into this game, giving up the early goal. Another cross in, Hernandez gobbles that one up as Emily Colton crossed with the left foot.
And that's a good snag by Hernez.
Look at the throw from Hernez.
For BYU, it becomes more of a mental game. As I mentioned, there's lots of time for them to go forward and equalize. So mentally, can they stay focused? Can they continue moving forward even though they find themselves down a goal?
Ellie Boren goes off of her and into touch.
BYU is a team that has won games coming from behind. And so for the Cougars, I know Coach Rockwood is going to be looking for her team to respond in a similar fashion.
But typically, BYU is on the front foot quite a bit. Second in goals per game, first in shots and shots on goal in the country. And certainly BYU not only playing down 1-0, they're playing history, as now UNC is on the attack. Senor, Della Peruta, and that one is deflected and goes out for another corner. Tori Della Peruta.
Della Peruta, even with this cold weather and it's a slick out there, just brings the ball down so nicely to be able to get that shot off. Stratton with the big block, but it's allowing UNC to get some good corner kick looks.
Senor already has the assist to Macy Bell a couple of moments ago. If you're joining us late, UNC already on the board. Low offering. Mozingo didn't get a good touch on it. Shepard able to get it out of the box. Here comes BYU. Boren up to Allie Fryer. Off of Boren. Centered over to Wade Katoa. BYU so offensive, as we mentioned. 5 different players have 10 or more goals. UNC does not have a player with 10 goals, but this is a team that plays great defense, scores enough goals as well, still good at it, as Peterson bodied by Meza and UNC with the throw-in.
Well, and UNC primarily scores their goals through their midfield. They play with 5 in that midfield, and from there are able to create chances outside of the box. Their forwards kind of stand as targets, and they get marked heavily, and that usually means one of their midfield players is open, which is why they've gotten so many goals throughout this season.
Attempted through ball there. Taken away from Emerson Elgin, and then taken back by Meza, the engine in the midfield. Avery Patterson now. Here's Timo ACC, cuts it back. Right foot into the box, settles. Out of reach just for a sec. This one into the box and then headed up and out. Another corner kick for UNC, who is peppering the Cougars right now as Olivia Smith-Griffiths headed that one out.
Hernez is going to put 2 players on her post. Olivia Smith-Griffiths on that front one, and the hope is try to avoid another header like the one that came from Bell in the first few minutes of this game.
And as the redshirt freshman is given the job October 12th as the starter, as BYU made the tough decision to put Savannah Mason as the backup. Another corner for UNC, into the 6, sitting there, and Hernez able to take it, and a foul called against UNC, or at least a stoppage for a moment. Tori Della Peruta was right there.
Della Peruta came in just a little too late. That'll get called every single time. Center officials are always going to be very careful when it comes to their goalkeepers, and you can see why Hernez is down on the ground as Della Peruta is trying to get the ball back through her.
And wasn't a particularly strong touch from Talia Della Peruta, Tori's sister. Otherwise, that might have been a second goal as well. Here come the Tar Heels. Jamie Shepard. Now Boren takes it away. Meza with the interception. UNC knocking again. Senor into the box, trying to find a window, shoots and scores! Allie Senor with the assist, and now the goal!
Woohoo! Those are some fancy footwork. Being pulled up on top of the moon there. Senor takes on 1, 2, 3, 4 players. You'll see she has a sea of blue jerseys, and she just parts through them. She sees Lynette Hernez is going to the near side. And so she aims to try to go to the opposite against her body weight where there's an open net. Another beautiful goal.
And it took a deflection that changed things. Hernez was going to the right, bounced off of the back of Mozingo for the goal. Macy Bell and Ali Senor. 2 goals in the first 9 minutes. UNC has come to Provo on a mission.
And you give a lot of credit to Senor, who's been instrumental in both of those goals with the assist on the first and then obviously creating this now her 10th goal this season. And wow, she gets the ball and just makes things happen.
UNC up 2-0. Nice ball up top to Tori Della Peruta. In come reinforcements. Back over to Avery Patterson on that left side. Top of the box, left side for Emily Colton. Here's Patterson. Far post, headed down. Hernez right there, offside called.
BYU pulling the trap there. There was a question if BYU pulled an offside trap here. While there were multiple players offsides, it didn't come off any of the UNC players. And so the goal will remain.
How tough will it be to just equalize North Carolina? As mentioned, UNC's given up 2 or more goals only twice all year.
Yeah.
It's a team that does not give up a lot of goals.
Well, we can see that so far. A majority of the offensive play has come from the Tar Heels.
Wade Katoa now. There's Mozingo. BYU used to having the possessions, the shots, the lead. Playing from behind tonight. Fryer battling Emily Colton. Tries to get some footing. Poked away by Emerson Elgin. Part of that back 3. BYU feels like if they can get behind the midfield, they'll have some space in the right and left corners. That one looked like it went out and called out. Throw in BYU.
No, BYU definitely has the talent to be able to get some good shots off and rip them into the corners. It'll come down to, can they take advantage of the opportunities that they have, and ultimately come down to that final third touch. Can they just finish?
How about that throw in right near the box? Kendall Peterson likes to get to her left foot. Taken away by Meza, the senior from Dallas, Texas. Ellie Bourne battling. Meza tries to relieve the pressure, but it goes into the UNC bench. Third meeting all time between these two, 2012. Crystal Dunn had the game winner in OT to win 2-1. Of course, future and current USA player. As that ball goes out, and it's BYU's first corner kick of the night. And then last year in the Sweet 16, UNC won 3-2. Can BYU drum up something here? Crowd getting into it. Cold and annoyed, down 2-0.
Well, BYU has the fans to do it. The game tonight was sold out within like 10 minutes of each other. So no doubt they have the home crowd support, and I'm sure there are some fans flying in from the east side as well.
Low offering. Lacks a bit. Smith Griffiths. Izzy Stratton way up from that back line. BYU trying to take advantage of all the bodies in the box. Mozingo in the center of the park as well. Shepard, most games played in BYU history. That is Isabel Cox for UNC, who will come off the bench, by the way. Most appearances among active players in D1. 109. When she comes in, she goes up to 110. Amazing. She'll be tied for third in NCAA history.
That COVID year definitely helps to be able so many of these players to come in and get more minutes.
Fair for what they didn't get in that year. Unfair for the record books.
Agreed.
It's those who played only 4 years, right?
Agreed. And it makes for fun soccer because so many of the players here are so experienced. So many of these players.
A couple of 30-year-olds. No, I'm just kidding.
So many played in that national championship game for BYU, and then likewise for UNC. Multiple national championship runs.
Shepard. It's Mozingo. Cutting it back to that left foot. Into the box, headed up. And that one blasted out by Emily Moxley, the 5th year from Cary, North Carolina. There's Anson Dorrance, who was the United States women's national team coach as well, 86 to 94. Led the U.S. to the first ever Women's World Cup in China in 91. This is the first regular season without a loss for UNC since 04. Took 4th in the ACC, but here they sit in very familiar territory, trying to get to a 32nd College Cup. Just ridiculous numbers for UNC. Trying to get their 23rd national championship in 23, of course. Michael Jordan and Jumpman, that means something to this group. Emily Moxley across the face of the goal and out. Another dangerous pass from UNC.
She's trying to find Della Peruta, who's sneaking in behind her defender to try to get on that far side. And BYU will have to be careful. UNC has so many forwards and midfield players that like to sneak in from behind, so they don't know that they're there, and then at the last second come in to try to get the shot.
Kendall Peterson, big run, and then just blasted out by Macy Bell, who's like, this is what I do for my day job. My side gig is scoring goals, but I'm really an excellent defender. And there is Jennifer Rockwood, the only coach BYU has ever had. I would surmise that one day this field will be called Jennifer Rockwood Field, as it is at North Carolina for Anson Dorrance, and it should be. Two of the greats. Certainly Anson, the GOAT. Jennifer Rockwood telling us, I was kind of in awe in 2012 when UNC came here. And I said, in 2012, as that one's played back but out, it's going to be a corner by UNC. A mistake by BYU there.
Yeah, BYU's defensive players making some unreasonable mistakes. They're probably not necessary in giving opportunities to UNC. But you mentioned these two coaches that have quite the resume behind them.
And Jens is good, but Anson's LinkedIn is another.
Winningest coach in all of college sports,
like
not just
any
soccer,
sport ever.
Not just soccer, not just fall sports.
Like John Wooden's like, no, Anson like won.
John Wooden has a third of the national championships
that
Anson
right?
Dorrance has.
Fifth corner, that one back to UNC. There's Savvy King, who has not been busy early. She's a tremendous defender, headed out by BYU. That's going to be another UNC corner. Savvy King is the center back of the three. She is a freshman, and she's only one of two freshmen in the ACC. Remember, great soccer in the ACC. To be first or second team, she was the second teamer. And another corner for UNC, trying to add to its 2-goal lead already. Macy Bell and Ali Senor have scored already. Just your typical grab the ball out of the snow and line it up for a corner. Now this corner has some pretty good footing, and this is where the goal was scored. The other corner is harder to kick at. If it walked by there earlier, just a little muddier. 16 minutes in. Center of the park, good opportunity there. Vaca with the head out. Ball still in the box, and Boren finally clears. Moxley, back to Bell. Big wrap on her right leg. Headed out by Stratton. Stratton's going to miss next season. Plans to serve a 18-month mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. 10 BYU players have served missions, the most of any team at BYU among the women's teams.
And the Cougars will miss having Stratton on that back line. She started getting minutes, lots of minutes as a freshman, and has held it since then.
Here we go, Wade Katoa. Over to Foligno. Trying to find Fryer in the box, and Fryer draws the corner. Second corner for the Cougars, and the fans get antsy.
Good look by Fryer there. In watching this game, Jerem, if BYU is going to get in behind this defense, they're going to have quick 1 and 2 touches. The few times that they've tried it, it's worked, and they've created offensive looks.
Ellie Bourne will take the corner, trying to get some footing. UNC all inside the 6. Look at that. Loose in the box and skips through for a goal kick. UNC really packs it in there and defended that one. BYU tried to get on the end of this. No one ends up touching it.
Yeah, UNC's taken that chance that if they all get in the 6, no one will take a shot on top of the 18. And that's a risky chance to take with BYU. BYU scored half of their goals from on top or outside of the 18, and so that's a risk that UNC is willing to take, but feeling confident that on their corner kicks they can do so.
That was a missed opportunity as that ball skips past both Shepard and Stratton. As Emmy Allen sends it near midfield. Wade Katoa. Foligno, here's Peterson. Intercepted by Emily Colton. Meza. Ball down the flank, Vaca. former WCC Defender of the Year. Now ball taken away by Tori Della Peruta, and then Vaca makes up for it. And a foul and a yellow coming out.
Yeah, they're going to say that Vaca pulled on the jersey.
There you go.
Of Della Peruta right as she beat her.
And it was just outside the box, otherwise that's a PK.
It puts Vaca in a tough spot because if she lets Della Peruta go, you know, she has an opportunity to get a 1v1 in front of the goalkeeper.
Worth it at that point then?
It's hard to say, and in doing so, she's going to give up a set piece to a UNC team that's very good on the set pieces. They scored their first goal off of a cross, off of a set piece. They're going to be looking to find some of those tall center backs, particularly that of Bell, try to find her head and see if they can't get another head into the net.
Ellie Senor, an assist and a goal already. Two-woman wall for BYU. Senor, right-footed blast, right at the goal and in! Ellie Senor is dominating this game single-handedly. An assist and 2 goals, and UNC is up 3-0.
Wow, what a shot. I didn't know if she was gonna go for the cross, try to find someone's head, but no, she just hits it with so much power. That is at Hernez, and there is so much power on it that it still comes past her. It's coming by so fast that she is unable to parry it up over the bar.
Got 2 hands on it, but it was a missile.
And there's a slight bend on it around the wall too. Absolutely beautiful. That's the kind of set pieces that you see in the professional game that are able to bend around the wall, but still have so much power on it that it's hard for a goalkeeper to react.
Sentinel's like, yeah, let's keep going. Things are going well for me tonight.
She's playing incredible, and when you're on,
wow.
You're on.
Coming into the game, she had 7 goals and 2 assists last year and this year. She's now up to 9 and 3. That's in the NCAA tournament only.
Well, she's just gotten the ball so much and wins her defensive tackles.
And here's another opportunity. Stratton right there, pokes it away with the right foot. And Smith-Griffiths captures. Now what does BYU do as that ball goes out? Down 3-0. This is a tall mountain to climb.
This game is getting away from them quickly as there's still so much time left in this game, and that can work as a double-edged sword. It gives BYU time to come back, but it also gives UNC time to try to bring more in. UNC by no means is looking to slow down. They haven't taken their foot off the gas. Even off of that, the kick off of the center circle, they're looking to go forward.
Into the box, Avery Patterson. UNC didn't like that sequence. Here's Savvy King. For the most part, been chilling back there. BYU's not tested UNC too much tonight. You see the shots on goal, none so far. Meza, looking far post, headed. Vaca with the deflection out. There's Fryer. And that one hit out by Zoe Jacobs, who came in a moment ago. One of those outside backs came in for Kendall Peterson. When UNC subs, they will sub 7 in. They are super subs, and they'll play for a good 15 minutes.
Well, and speaking with Coach Dorrance this last week, he said that's why we have been able to find success this season is because of our reserves. It's because of our bench being able to come in. He said a year ago, the intensity and the skill on the field would have dropped a bit. But now he's like, that's not happening. As the season progresses, our reserves come in and we keep the same amount of pressure and intensity and talent on the field regardless of how many subs we make.
It is an 8th corner kick for UNC, who frankly is dominating this first half at 1 seed BYU. Sentinor doing everything tonight. Far post headed out by Shepard. Correction, Rachel McCarthy, a sub off the bench for BYU. Meza now on the left wing. Right foot on the ground, into the box. Deflected by Stratton. There's McCarthy. 5 goals off the bench for BYU this year. Head to Fryer. And UNC takes it away.
It's all Tar Heels at this point. Again, we mentioned speaking with Coach Dorrance earlier this week, and one of the things he mentioned is that he feels this team is talented enough to win the whole thing. Now, obviously, they got some hard games ahead of them, including this one here, but we're starting to see some of that talent on display.
Smith-Griffiths into the box, overruns it, intercepted by Avery Patterson, who tracked back. Patterson finds space, and here come the Tar Heels. Lots of space in this midfield. Senor over to Meza. This crowd stunned, down 3-0. There's 19-2-3 and a 1 seed, and is staring at 3-0 on their home field. Here's Shepard, and poked out by Fryer. BYU has given up 3 goals just once this year, and a 3-3 tie to TCU. There's still plenty of ball to be played here. Shepard, Fryer into the box with Macy Bell, who scored, as of now, the game-winning goal. BYU throw-in. And it was in the 2nd minute. Then the 9th and 20th minutes, Allie Senor scored. She's got 5 points tonight, my goodness. Into the box. Savvy King all over it. Up the flank, and that one went out. Thrown for BYU. Now, in this, because you got that Colombian blood, I'm assuming you'd go long sleeve tonight and gloves?
Oh, so cold. I was one of those players that was bundled.
Look at Leveni Vaca.
No, I would not be in the T-shirt.
Tongan, she doesn't care. Tongan International, she's like,
she's
snow,
a much
whatever.
tougher woman than I am.
There's no snow in Tongan, she doesn't care, man. I would definitely be bundled up in this one. Mad props to the just straight sleeves people, which Vaca might be the only one.
No, it is chilly, and it is getting colder and colder as the night progresses. A shout out to all the fans who came out, because it is freezing here.
Ellie Walbrook cuts it, got the slip on Bell. Walbrook near the edge of the box, kind of overrunning it, right foot. Keeper slipped, and then Allen dives on it. That one nearly trickled in for Walbrook, who played at UCLA. She didn't play in the national title game, but she was on the sideline with her teammates that lost to UNC in the national championship last year.
Oh, and she just shows off some incredible skill there. There's a skill check, and she just left and right.
Didn't get a pure touch on it, otherwise.
I imagine if she got more power on that, that would have found the back of the net. Allen is able to get just a paw on it. But you're right, had any more power been on that, I don't know if she would have been able to make the save down low, and that's what something BYU's got to keep doing, is just shooting down low. Allen's a tall goalkeeper. Force her to go down to ground, force her to have to drop down to her hips.
Allen in the College Cup, the 2 games last year, 17 saves. Of course, the dramatic finish there as UNC tied it to go to overtime with 16 seconds left. BYU with it now. Fryer, the sophomore, with 10 goals this year. Looking for someone to pass to or something. Walbrook chips, but it's side netting.
And Walbrook's another one of those reserve players that comes off the bench but comes up big for BYU. Scores a lot of goals, makes a lot of things happen. She's just that spark for the Cougars when she comes in off of the bench. And you can see why the last 2 touches that she's had have resulted in scoring opportunities.
Scored a massive goal against #1 UCLA that vaulted BYU to #1 earlier in the season. The sophomore from Highland, Utah, in the UCLA transfer. Brecken Mozingo, a UCLA transfer as well a couple of years ago. Offside called in that last sequence. With under 20 minutes left, we should see the UNC subs here in a couple of minutes. Aaron Bailey about to come in for BYU. Looking for a spark, down 3-0. Smith Griffiths. Back to Stratton. Offside against Walbrook. And out come the Boo Birds.
A good trap being pulled by UNC. They're going to say that Walbrook came from an offsides position. So you see she's offside before the ball.
Who needs
when
VAR,
the ball is released. We have that advantage.
We have you.
We have the advantage to be able to look at it on the replay, coming from an offside position, and so when she receives it, is able to receive that advantage.
Everybody loves a long review that stops the game, you know what I'm saying? Over Zoe Jacobs' head. Vaca, pressured by Meza. Jacobson up the line. Thrown in front of the BYU bench. Aaron Bailey will come in for BYU. No sign of those subs quite yet for UNC. Deline, Cox, Rabimbus, Sember, Oliaro, Fossey, De La Rose, all going to come in for UNC at some point. It's Mozingo. Now playing a more central spot with Rachel McCarthy in. McCarthy with a poor pass, looking for Walbrook. Meza assessing. UNC slowing it down a little bit, trying to get numbers forward. There's Avery Patterson. Taken away by the Cougars. Wade Katoa now. Bailey calling for it. Now Bailey gets it inside of the box. Aaron Bailey gets to her left foot. Macy Bell battling with Bailey.
Yeah, that'll be called against Bailey, who brought down Bell on the tackle. They both were going at it. There's, quite a bit of physical play going on between both of these players. BC Bell is able to come in.
Did Bailey take down Bell?
Yeah, looking at that replay, she doesn't wrap her arm around her.
Kind of a shift of weight there to. I don't think Aaron Bailey's knocking too many people over. Let's just say that.
Yeah, when you see it on the replay, she doesn't wrap her arm around her, and at that point, it makes it much more harder to make any sort of definitive call.
And it doesn't look like a PK to me. Just a.
No.
That's a you just play on.
No, just physical play coming between the two players.
Senor fell in the midfield there. Again, slippery conditions. Feels like 27 as of the start of this game. Wade Katoa on the sprint. And that one too far. Goal kick UNC. And here comes the cavalry for UNC. We told you they're going to bring in 7, and they do. And they do good work. Isabel Cox, as we mentioned, number 13. Most appearances among active players. If you're just joining us, here's how this has gone. Second minute, Macy Bell gets on the board for UNC off the corner kick from Ali Senor.
Senor just places it so beautifully, and it's just a beautiful little rainbow ball into that far corner. But that's not the end that you'll see from Senor. She takes on her player 1v1, shows off some of those fancy footworks, and then goes towards the far post.
Got the deflection. And then this is just an absolute rocket.
Just beautiful set piece from Senor. She really can do it all. She can dribble, she can pass and set up the goals, and she can get off the set piece.
So it is a new look UNC outfield here. Tara Warner in for BYU. Oh, Warner, big bump with Emily Colton. Fresh legs for the Tar Heels. McCarthy. Oliaro pressing McCarthy and Smith-Griffiths. Smith-Griffiths, the deflection. If you look across at the subs, BYU remembers the likes of Maddie Deline. She had 2 goals in the Sweet 16 last year. Bella Sember, number 18, had the goal last week against Texas Tech in the 72nd minute. So these are players that don't come in and just buy minutes. They do stuff. Jacobs tried to lift that one, stayed on the ground. You're with a good spell of possession here. Down 3-0. Mozingo trying to create. And again, UNC takes it away. Mia Oliaro.
UNC just gets so tight on their defense. They're so quick at constricting all of the space, and so whenever BYU tries to take them on 1v1, they end up accumulating defensive marks.
Throwing for BYU at midfield. With under 14 minutes left in the first half here at Southfield in Provo, Utah. Great to have you here on ESPN+. 2 tickets punched to the College Cup already, and it is ACC or future ACC heavy. Florida State, future ACC member Stanford, UNC up comfortably 3-0, and then Clemson trying to become an ACC team in the College Cup. Goal kick. as you need to check that out next week, Friday and Monday, the semifinals and championships on ESPNU. Gonna be a lot of fun there from Cary, North Carolina, and of course, Tar Heels hoping they can hold on to a big lead here and play about 30 minutes from campus. Here's Macy Bell, who right now has the game winner. You see the goal differential for UNC in this tournament, 8-1 so far. BYU throw-in. BYU with 2 shots. Up one frame, putting some pressure on, but that one goes out. Throw in for UNC. The NCAA a couple years ago eliminated overtime, and so UNC in the regular season, 8 ties, most in program history. But they went through the regular season undefeated and then lost in the first round of the ACC tournament. But they're so good, they got a 3 seed.
Well, and that's the thing you have to remember when you look at the ACC standings. It's easy
oh my gosh.
on the surface to say, oh, UNC didn't have their best year. But then when
fourth
you
in the league, not that good.
And then you dig into it and you realize, no, those were ties, that they weren't letting in any goals. And then obviously they come to the NCAA tournament level and have been excelling immediately.
Jacobs with the takeaway, Mozingo battling with Isabel Cox, most appearances and among all D1 players. 110 now. Jacobs trying to get physical with Cox, pushing the back. Far side for De La Rose. UNC tries to add to this. Let's see if BYU can't get a goal before the end of the half.
And that may just
3-0.
The confidence boost that the Cougs need to be able to just get that one, lessen the deficit, even if it's just by 1 goal going into the second half, and then make your adjustments at halftime.
It is slippery out there, man. Aaron Bailey in the center circle. Got it taken away by De La Rose. Up to Maddie Deline, 2 goals against BYU in the Sweet 16, right at Hernez. Last year, Deline was a problem for the Cougars. Hernez with the save.
Well, Deline's one of those players that you have to be careful with because she's a high defensive player. You know, she's playing in that forward midfield position, but she wins most of her balls off of defensive tackles and just tackling and providing that pressure to her opponents. And so that's the majority of the balls she wins is just by simply winning them back.
North Carolina has more goals than BYU has shots on goal at this point. It's been all Tar Heels so far. Jamie Shepard, most appearances in BYU history herself. 107 now. 10 minutes left in the first half. North Carolina 3, BYU 0. Macy Bell, a goal in the 2nd minute. Puts it way into the corner. A little dump and chase, if you will. Deflected off of Oliaro, a freshman from Chapel Hill. Always dreamed of being a Tar Heel, enrolled in the spring. Walbrook is going to throw it in for BYU.
Yeah, you mentioned some of those statistics. BYU with just 1 shot on goal. North Carolina with 6.
This is the #1 shot on goal team in America, by the way.
And just 1 shot on goal.
They average 9.6 a game. Is the overall shots. That one trickles out. Goal kick for Hernez and BYU.
And just 2 shots total for BYU. Again, very unlike this Cougars squad who likes to get a lot of shots and a high volume of them.
21 a game, also #1 in the country. But UNC takes that away. They're giving up 6.6 shots per game. Not shots on goal per game, shots per game. Texas Tech, as good as that team was, who won the regular season in BYU's league, Big 12, had a hard time just getting any on frame.
No, absolutely, and you give all the credit to Coach Dorrance and his defensive line. They only play with 3 in the back line. That's how confident they are in their back line.
And a true freshman center back.
That is how confident they are in the back line, is they only play with 3, and a true freshman as that center back.
Savvy King holds it down back there with Bell and Emerson Elgin. De La Rose in for Elgin right now with that 3. There's Walbrook. To her left, trying to get into the box. Here's a chance for Warner. Takes the deflection and goes wide left.
Good build there between Walbrook and Warner. Warner was just hanging out on that far side. She was open as can be. Walbrook does a good job of finding her.
And what a track back to prevent that potentially by Kate Fossey, the sophomore from Phoenix.
Yeah, and we mentioned having only 3 in the back. The reason that UNC has been able to hold so steady is because those midfielders do track back. Just like Fossey being able to come back in a midfield role, but still just make it as tight as can be in their defensive third.
Corner kick is low, but out. They'll redo it. Aaron Bailey will take it yet again. 4th corner for BYU.
And these are good opportunities for BYU. You know, they're not getting a ton of offensive chances, and these corner kicks may be just those chances that they're looking for.
Down 3, you got to do something at some point to get back in this game, and corner kicks are a good chance. Warner, another deflection for UNC, who, as we mentioned, likes to pack it tight inside the 6 on corners. Nice takeaway by Maddie Deline. Anson Dorrance told us, I feel like we have a good press, but we've got to prevent BYU from dribbling and getting off their powerful shots. They've done a great job of that tonight.
Yeah, it just absorbed really well. Been playing very zonal, but whenever BYU gets deep into their defensive third, then it suddenly becomes man-to-man, and you have multiple players that are on your back and getting in the way.
Bailey. And again, a great touch in the middle of the park. Melina Rambimbis from Warren, New Jersey, able to get the deflection there, as Vaca will center it for Stratton as BYU pushes back after all that momentum forward on a couple of corners. Smith-Griffiths, heavy touch, UNC in business. Nia Oliaro going at Stratton, left-footed cross into the box and deflected out for a goal kick.
It's a good tackle there by Vaca. Take another look at it here. Vaca using her front field foot. Get as much power as that is possible and try to get it out.
Off of Isabel Cox. Senior from Greensboro, North Carolina. My dad's from Asheville, North Carolina, on the west side.
We got a lot of North Carolina connections here.
A lot of family back in the day from Raleigh.
I spent multiple summers in my childhood there.
What a beautiful state. Tonight, it's all snow, and Ellie Walbrook trying to get some space into the box. Shot taken, but deflected again by Sierra Pennock. And Emmy Allen scoops it up inside the box. It's hard to get a clean look for BYU.
It's hard to get that power on when you're having to shoot so quickly and slightly off balance. Pennock does a good job of getting a look off. Right now, that's BYU's task, is just get the shots off. And once you start getting those shots, and you can start worrying more about the power and the aim.
Savvy King all over it. 5 minutes left in the first half. All UNC. Macy Bell, Ali Senor are the goals in the second, 9th, and 20th minutes. Bell fakes it and lets it go. Another goal kick for the Tar Heels.
You know, in those first few minutes of the game, when BYU found themselves down 1, you and I both talked about what does BYU have to do to try to come back, and we mentioned that mental fortitude, that they have talented players, but they have to be able to mentally be strong. And even 3 goals later, I'd say the same answer as they go into the second half. Can they bring that sort of mental resiliency and close out these last 4 minutes, but then come into the next 45 feeling confident and believing that they can equalize even down 3.
By Colton. Albert goes down. Advantage played for a moment, but it will come back for the foul. Jennifer Rockwood saying quickly. Everything's got to be done quickly when you're down 3-0. Less to do with 4 minutes left in the game and more. We've got a big hill to climb here. Got to get one. Walbrook will take it.
UNC is going to hold their line on that 18-yard box. They want to give Allen as much space as possible so that if the ball dips over, she has plenty of room to collect.
Sophomore UCLA transfer Ellie Walbrook. She'll just blast in a goal, and it skips on Allen, but she gobbles it up.
Yeah, And that skip's dangerous, especially for both of these goalkeepers. The snow is falling, the ground is dewy and wet, and you can see that skip makes it much harder to collect in the breadbasket.
Two saves now for UNC, and Emmy Allen, a redshirt sophomore. And they gave up 14 goals coming into this game. Baca lets it skip to her, but it goes out. You see the goal differential for UNC. It only needs to be +1 tonight. And here's another sub. Asha Means will come in for Isabel Cox. 2.5 minutes left, and a corner kick for UNC.
And the snow's coming down even harder than it was in those first 5.
It's way more hallmarky out here, though, than it was earlier. You know what I'm saying?
That's one way to describe it.
Near the top of the 18, still loose in the box. Bell right there, tackled by BYU, poked out. King to the left side. Oliaro with Smith Griffiths. And 2 come over for BYU. Target found in Deline. And near post run. Scooped up by Hernez. Now, in a game like this, it's good to be the goalie. You can wear a little more.
At
you
least
go
for your hands, right?
Full leggings.
Yeah, you got to stay warm.
Tolerated. Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting too, you know, UNC got those 3 goals relatively early in those first 15 minutes, and then since then hasn't been able to find the back of the net. And so BYU's adapted really well, but obviously adapted 3 goals too late.
Yeah, BYU's going to have to be +3 just to force overtime in this thing. In the final 46 minutes, just a minute and change left in this first half. All UNC. BYU able to force a couple of saves from UNC too. BYU with 3, but those goals, obviously the biggest difference in this one is Jennifer Rockwood and her coaching staff, Brent Anderson and Steve Magleby and Tasha Bell look on. There's a run at goal by Rabimbus. Deline. Stratton right there. Slippery for Rabimbus. McCarthy with the takeaway. 40 seconds left in the half. Bailey lets it go past her. Gets some space. Trying to find Walbrook. Ellie Walbrook to her right foot, looking for someone to cross to. And Macy Bell comes up with the stop defensively.
Yeah, it's tough for Walbrook. She did such a good job receiving it and turning, getting the end line, but there was no one there to cross to. So she's trying to hold on to it, see if she can't wait a bit, wait for a player to come in, but all of BYU's players were still playing defense. They were still back in their own half.
And that'll do it for the first half. North Carolina scoring 3 goals in the first 20 minutes of this game. The go-ahead in the second minute. And it's been all UNC in this first half. BYU a bit shell-shocked here at home.
Well, and beautiful goals. I mean, every single one was just quality textbook. A header coming off the corner, beautiful 1v1, and then the set piece.
Kennedy Miller is with BYU head coach Jennifer Rockwood.
Coach, what do you feel like you need to do differently in the second half to climb back into this game?
Well, we got to score pretty quick here. I thought we played well enough in the first half to maybe get one, but it didn't fall for us. But we got off to a rough start. Obviously, Carolina's dangerous. And, you know, you give up a goal in the first minute or 2 of the game, it kind of shell-shocked us a bit. So we just got to regroup. We scored a lot of goals this year, and hopefully we can get a few more in the second half.
All right, thanks so much, Coach.
Thanks to Jennifer Rockwood and Kennedy Miller. Certainly the regrouping will need to happen. Everybody get dry for a minute. And BYU has some questions to answer. All UNC in this snow globe of a first half. Macy Bell in the second minute, and UNC up 3-0. Stats and highlights coming up after the break from the Elite Eight. One more ticket to be punched for the College Cup here tonight. And so far, UNC looking good.
Advantages and see if they can't try to equalize.
Trying to stay warm, try to enjoy this second half underway. Great to have you with us, Jerem Jordan, Carla Swenson Haslam, Kennedy Miller, and our crew from a snowy and cold Southfield And UNC with a 3-goal advantage after 45, trying to be the third team to punch its ticket to the College Cup and carry North Carolina, and certainly the geographic advantage that would be. 31 previous College Cups for North Carolina.
Well, and that's absolutely beautiful venue to play a soccer game. Many soccer championships, both at the professional and collegiate level, have been won there. It is a field that has seen highlight reel worthy goals and games that will go down in history. Just a beautiful place to play, and you're right, not too far from Chapel Hill.
Bella Foligno, quiet first half for her. Got engaged this week, by the way.
Congratulations, Bella.
There's Mozingo. For BYU. Shout out to the men's teams for both these teams. North Carolina men playing Hofstra on Sunday in the second round of the NCAA tournament. And the BYU men's team is a club team, and they won their 5th national championship in the last 6 years. Didn't give up a goal in the 6-game tournament.
Yeah, incredible.
BYU certainly aspires to one day have a men's soccer team. Speaking from the men's soccer perspective, the BYU has not added any sports in a long time. Might be a minute, if at all. For now, they'll continue to win that club national title. Boren, as BYU presses forward. Some good juice here to start the second half. That ball too far for Torre Della Peruta, the sophomore from Cumming, Georgia. Her sister Talia, the senior. 4th pair of sisters to ever play for UNC, but the first pair to ever overlap for more than a year.
I just think about what are the chances, how good a player has to be to play at this Division I level and to play for a
North
top 10
Carolina.
teams. Yeah.
Like, you did it too. Nice job. Fryer draws the corner kick. 5th corner in front of the BYU student section there. This will get loud here as Brecken Mozingo will bring in the outswinger. Students getting excited, mostly to stay warm, also to cheer on the squad. UNC inside of the 6. Nice knockout by Della Peruta, who chases it. Kendall Peterson will take a blast and a rip right at Allen, who lets it bounce off and scoops it up.
Not a bad look from Peterson.
Best one of the game for BYU?
I still think the Walbrook may have been better, but this is close behind it. Peterson playing in that defensive role, but she has scored several times from that same position. And does a really good job, even again, as a defensive player, doesn't always have a mark on her. And so she takes advantage of the real estate in front of her and lets one rip.
She's got 12 assists this year. That's a monster number for
she's an incredibly talented player and just reads the field so well. Extremely athletic, extremely fast.
Is Ellie Boren. Crowd gets excited. UNC, as they have done most of the night, takes it away. Long ball, Della Peruta trying to get on the other end of it. She does. Stratton right there. Good track back to prevent a one-on-none. Here's Senor with an assist and 2 goals tonight. She is made for the NCAA tournament, man. 9 goals and 3 assists this and last year. That is pelted off of Mozingo. Crowd quiet, waiting for the BYU to get the ball back here. Senor gets to the left, crosses Hernez with the left hand. Nicely done.
Good save by Hernez. That could have been far more dangerous had UNC had a player hanging out in the inside of the box.
Savvy King. Colton. Senor. Talia Della Peruta. Then over to Bell, who right now has the game winner in the 2nd minute. Really 93 seconds in. Bit of a shocker. Still good for the game winner at this point. UNC patient. Easy to be patient when you're up 3-0. Absolute control. Colton to the left. And that one goes out into the snow. Oh, is Always fun to be the ball boy or girl when you're trying to not fall in the snow in front of everybody. This one, there you go.
That's the real MVPs.
No, with no cleats.
The real MVPs of this game.
My goodness. And again, Leveni Vaca with no sleeves or gloves. It's like, what? It's Foligno. Trying to find Fryer into the box. Allen there as well. Another opportunity, but the UNC defense has been watertight.
Well, we mentioned it before with this dewy ground and the snow that's falling, things tend to get a little slick. Fryer's trying to take advantage of that. She almost gets a touch to it, isn't able to do so, and Allen reads it very well.
You're searching for just one goal to get a little bit of momentum, get the crowd back into this game. As of now, this is blowout city, but things can change quickly for the nation's #1 offense. Smith Griffiths. And Mozingo. Heavy right touch, and Patterson with the tackle. Now Avery Patterson trying to body Smith Griffiths. There's Vaca, sister Gaviana, transferred from BYU to Florida, all SEC. Had a nice season. Fourth rally, Fryer. Fryer to the edge. Goal kick for UNC.
Good job by Fryer to turn on the Jets.
Oh, she is muddy too.
Yeah,
she's throwing, she's had it with those gloves.
Well, you saw her slip towards the end, and you can see the evidence of that on her blue jersey.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. Right into the mud.
She does get a little bit of a shove. Now, I don't know if it's enough to call a penalty.
PK worthy? Probably
no, probably not. But she does get a little bit of a forearm there, and then with the mud. And
what defender wouldn't give you a little four? You know what I mean?
I was a forward in college, so I get it.
Yeah, you're like, hey, that's a PK every time. Fell on UNC in the middle of the park. It's Boren. Shake it off. She's in some pain. Wade Katoa. And a heavy touch. She goes into the snow. Goal kick. That ball gets away from you in the snow in a different way, like you said.
Well, and it's happening multiple times, both with Fryer and then you saw it there with Wade Katoa. These are players that aren't known for having much of a heavy touch, but you're right, when it gets slick and with the snow, it starts to get a little harder. And like I said, you give the Tar Heels credit too for their defense. They're putting that sort of pressure so that you can't get a really solid touch.
Bolton bats that one out. Smith Griffiths. Meza tracks back and takes it away. Little bump from Shepard. And an offside call on Tori Della Peruta, the younger sister. Number 9 up top. Izzy Stratton will re-trigger things. Third meeting all time between these two, 2012 in the Elite Eight here. UNC won 2-1 in overtime. Bristol Dunn with the game winner. And then last year, they played an exhibition game that UNC won 2-0. Didn't count in the series history, but the other one was in the Sweet 16. Good tackle from Savvy King on Allie Fryer. And now UNC up 3-0, sitting pretty here in the Elite Eight, where they have been 33 times and only lost twice. An unbelievable number. If they get here, they go to the College Cup. They've been there 31 times. He's been there once by comparison. It was 2 years ago.
Okay.
Smith Griffiths. Right footed blast is up and over.
Get a look off. No, it's interesting that you mentioned that, Jerome, because, you know, Coach Doranson, speaking with him, he talks about the Elite Eight game is actually the game that he gets the most nervous for.
Which was interesting.
Yeah,
Not
fascinating.
in the College Cup.
He feels that once he can get past the Elite Eight, then at that point, his team, they can get past the nerves and they just can focus on the game.
And
but
he loves being in the College Cup.
He loves being in it.
So there's something relaxing about it. Like, hey, we made it. This is fun.
Yeah, you just get to play. You know, every team in those last 4 is good, and you know that you've merited your way up there. But he said this Elite 8 game is always the most stressful. This quarterfinal game, excuse me, is always the most stressful for this UNC squad.
And his genuine surprise in the interview with Kennedy was interesting. He was like, we did not expect to put up 3 goals in the first half here.
I don't know if anyone did.
Fryer. Savvy King. Her name's Savannah, but goes by Savvy, which is just money. That one goes up and over from Kendall Peterson.
An appropriate nickname.
The Rock is getting excitable here. They're trying to implore BYU to something. And again, I think half the reason they're doing it is just stay warm. It is cold out here, man. But great to have you with us, wherever you are. The comfort of your home here on Black Friday. Hopefully you got some good deals. Still a little sleepy from the turkey yesterday. How was Thanksgiving for you, buddy?
Oh, it was excellent.
Awesome.
Just full of food and family.
Shout out to my brother-in-law, Tommy, with the yams.
Oh, good work, Tommy.
Candied yams, did great work, among other excellent plates.
I'll be inviting Tommy next year to my Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. No, we need him in ours. Sorry. Brecken Mozingo for the corner.
Again, more opportunities. BYU's offensive looks have been coming from their corner kicks. Now this season they've had a hard time really converting on corners, but perhaps in this game they can try to turn things around.
A better time than the present. Near post. Headed out by Tori Della Peruta. Mozingo, better one this time, into the box. Shepard was right there. Allen with the touch. As BYU nearly got a poke at it. Oh, big collision by Vaca and Della Peruta, who gets called for the foul.
Yeah, Della Peruta just comes in way too hard off of Vaca.
Bratton begging for a card.
You can hear the displeasure coming in our microphones from the home crowd. Here's another look at the cross. It was a great cross by Brecken Mozingo, and then Foligno is right there.
Free kick. Stratton will switch fields. Peterson. Heavy touch. Shepard. BYU might try to send it into the box, but they want to build into the box here. Shepard looking at Vaca on the left a little bit. She'll switch to the right now. Smith-Griffiths. Mozingo. Right foot. Far post. Nearly headed in. Nice defensive play by UNC to prevent that one. I believe it was Elgin. One of BYU's best build-ups and looks of the game, but still a donut on the board. Fryer's just going to turn and shoot, and Allen reads it.
Some good possession coming from the BYU side. And then maybe what this Cougar team needs to be able to try to build. You'll see some of this possession as Olivia Smith-Griffiths pass it out to Brecken Mozingo, who's just been sending in the cross time after time. Fryer's trying to get to it. And then as it flips to the other side, Fryer again, she's trying to make things happen.
Oh, what a flick forward by Della Peruta, but a little too far as Vaca went and got it. A little bit of skill there. Ooh, dangerous living. UNC into the box now, trying to get a fourth. Della Peruta goes down. Smith-Griffiths gonna make sure she doesn't get a penalty called on her. Patterson over to Meza. Senor centers up. Macy Bell, the goal scorer in the second minute. Dribbles through it. Cuts back to her left. Moxley chips. Hernez right there.
And Hernez telling her team to get up. A bit of urgency. 30 minutes.
I would think so.
You wouldn't feel that sort of urgency at 30 minutes, but given the score line.
I think since the 20th minute, there's been a sense of urgency,
You
right?
can feel it with this BYU team and talking with Coach Rockwood and her staff. They need to get that first one to try to open up the floodgates.
Lava Vaca. Shepard. Too much for Foligno. Mez over to Patterson. Stratton takes it away. Across the center line in that logo. Smith Griffiths. All it takes is one for BYU to make this cook a little differently. Mozingo. Almost to the byline. Left foot. Still available. Wayne Katoa, deflection. Into the box and goal! BYU's on the board! Bella Foligno! And this crowd is back into it with 29 to go.
Foligno aiming it perfectly and waiting for her teammates to send it in. Brecken Mozingo's done so well in this game, getting multiple crossings. You can see the ball's bouncing around. It's chaos. Wade Katoa tries to hit it. It's deflecting off of people, and it just bounces right into the area. Foligno has a one-time touch and just puts it right into the near post.
8th goal of the season for Foligno. 2nd most games ever played at BYU. Got engaged this week. Now the goal. It's a heck of a week for Bella Foligno, who in the 61st has given BYU new life.
Scoring in multiple games in this NCAA tournament, so coming up big in the season. Coach Rockford said she's seeing Foligno play the best soccer of her career in this NCAA tournament.
And now the nation's #1 offense has a spark. Will it become a fire?
And it came from just taking advantage of some of the chaos and disruption in the box. I really think that's how BYU is going to get some of their goals. If they can't get in behind UNC's defense, they're just going to have to be opportunistic.
Here's Senor into the box. She's been awesome in this game. Deflection by Smith Griffiths prevents that one. Goal kick for BYU. And now there's a little bit of life, little bit of juice from this crowd, who with one more can make this thing interesting.
Yeah, and perhaps that's the spark BYU needs. You know, we mentioned the time, 28 minutes. That's still a lot of time. It only takes 1 second to score a goal. Now UNC's defense has been so steady, just a solid wall in this game. It's really a fun matchup here in Provo now.
Smith Griffiths, married to Kyle, former BYU football player. They are headed to San Diego, the new gig that he just got. So congratulations to Kyle. I know that because I played pickup basketball with him a couple weeks.
That's where you get all the info.
That's where I get the info. Into the box for Fryer. Savvy King. Get it out of the 18. Senor. An assist and 2 goals in this one. Every little thing, the crowd into it a little bit. Just a little bit of flint provided by Foligno. 27.5 left in this 3rd NCAA Elite 8 game. Florida State and Stanford already punched their tickets. Mozingo across the face of the 18. This place is going to go bonkers if BYU gets another one. It wouldn't even beat a tie, it'd just be to make it a game. Seems to be setting Fossey in, by the way, for Della Peruta. So no true forward up top there, a more midfield centered look. Here's Patterson looking for reinforcements. In the meantime, going to get to her left foot, deflected by Vaca. Soft touch by the Cougars, not getting this cleared. Meza going to control things. There's Talia Della Peruta. There's Fossey. Right foot across. BYU resets. I think Walbrook going to come in a moment for BYU. Switch fields for Smith Griffiths. Looking for a long ball. Instead goes to Mozingo. Shepard. Over to Bourne. Snow's been coming in all game. Into the box. Fryer, it was too far. Allen comes out and gathers.
BYU's starting to build more and more. Didn't make any formation or personnel changes at halftime, but you're starting to see their style of play, things opening up just a bit as they're trying to pull UNC's defense apart. BYU's playing towards the wings, and the hopes of doing that is that they'll pull UNC to the sidelines and hopefully open up a little bit more space.
With Griffiths up the flank. Nice job by Savvy King with the left foot again. It's hard to get anything clean in the box. Even BYU's goal took a couple of deflections just to get an opportunity for Foligno there.
Yeah, I honestly think that's where BYU's chances are just going to come out of being unpredictable and
Peterson,
in chaos.
unpredictable right there, although if you've watched her, she's going to blast it from distance sometimes. You see the shot difference. In the first 20 minutes of the second half only, BYU's doubled its shot amount.
And you wonder, you know, how much of that just comes from getting that first goal and getting that new life, that new kind of spark, recognizing that they can score goals. They always say the first goal is the hardest one. And I think that's come true in this match.
And UNC being up 3-0 certainly changes how you defend. Perhaps you're okay with the few shots here and there. You're trying to prevent quality shots as Walbrook will come in. She was the spark in the first half.
And we're starting to see that from the Tar Heels as they have brought players back. They're keeping things as tight as possible. They're playing far more conservative soccer than they were in the first half, and
Which
they
makes
have the
sense,
luxury
right?
of doing so.
Yeah.
They have the luxury of doing so, and you're up, you know, 3 goals, now 3-1, up by those 2 goals to play a more conservative style of soccer.
Short corner. Shepard. Left-footed rip. Allen with the save.
Starting to come for this BYU squad. They're getting their shots. They're getting their shots on goal. Now they have to move to that next step. You're getting shots on goal. You're getting chances. Now it comes to the placement.
Boren correction on the shot there. 5 saves for Emmy Allen in goal for UNC.
Allen still hasn't been tested too much. She's had 1 or 2 good saves, but really hasn't had to go to ground that often.
Look at Savvy King all the way up here. From the center back spot. Into the box, Hernez just has to use the feet. But gets it out. There's Patterson, 9 goals on the season. Senor was tied coming into the game. Now it's Senor by 2 with the 11 to lead UNC this season. Wade Katoa. UNC way up pressing here. Stratton. Maybe got away with one. Little physicality there in the middle. Here's BYU. Wade Katoa up to Foligno. Mozingo. BYU 4-on-4 here. Mozingo into the box. Boren. Macy Bell. Able to get a touch.
Good defense by UNC. They're able to read it well, and they're very patient. They wait for the ball to be exposed before going for it.
Smith Griffiths has it taken away. Senor there. But Smith Griffiths able to tap it back to Izzy Stratton for the moment.
And there's that press you had mentioned earlier, Jerem. Even on that forward line, just trying to put as much pressure on BYU's defense.
Mozingo. Smith Griffiths now to the 18, trying to find Mozingo. Shepard was laying it back. That one finally sent out. There was a deflection a moment ago that went off the face of a UNC player.
Oh, and
that's Emerson Elgin. I think right in the nose in this cold.
And this cold weather just makes it feel 10 times worse.
That one was blasted out to stop the game so that she could have a moment, perhaps be subbed out. The trainer's going to come out and look at her. Listen, if it's 90 degrees, that still hurts. But when it's like this, that ball is
far worse.
Solid. Yeah, she's got a bloody nose for sure. You see it dripping out there. She went to ground for a moment. BYU was still doing its thing. As you see, this one-timer deflects, kind of nicks her in the face, and you see immediately she goes to ground.
Yeah, you're right. I think he hits her right in the nose. So give an opportunity for both teams to regroup. See, the snow is still coming down. That was another thing we did not foresee in this game. We thought, oh, it'll snow earlier in the day. It'll be a bright, clear night here at South Field.
Yeah, the forecast yesterday was, okay, early in the morning it's going to snow. Nope, it's been the whole time.
I mean,
it's not sticking, luckily, but
no.
it is very wet.
Yes, we spent the whole, broadcast here wiping off our boards, wiping off our computers, wiping off all our
Speak for
headsets.
yourself. I haven't wiped anything off. It's all wet still. This is wild, though. This is wild.
It wouldn't be, soccer here in Provo in November if there wasn't at least one snow game.
So, as you see Elgin trying to pinch off the top there and just get it all soaked up into the towel there. She'll come out for the moment.
You don't want to get on those white jerseys or they'll make you change them.
Well, I don't know. A lot of street cred there. If it's just all bloody and battered, and
I
it's like, that's the jersey that won the Elite Eight with.
I think the NCAA will make you change them.
Just accidentally drip on the backup, and then you're good. So we'll see Maddie Deline come in for Elgin. So that is a forward for a defender. So we'll see what UNC sort of offers formationally with that sub. Again, Deline had 2 goals in the Sweet 16 against BYU last year.
And
BYU remembers her.
She's played really well in this game, too. She's coming off of the bench.
Got that juice. BYU with a bit of possession momentum here, but they need to put one in. Headed out by Bell, 5'11", and all over the header. Shepard now. Shepard will take a rip, and Allen has to move to her left, and it's another save for the redshirt sophomore.
Good look by Shepard. And why not if you're BYU? If you want to try to pull UNC out, take shots from outside of the box. Hopefully that pulls the Tar Heels out for BYU's favor.
I would gander that UNC is somewhat content to allow that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, it's a risk that you're willing to take, is force your opponent to shoot from outside of the box. The chances of scoring are far less likely, statistically at least.
Foul on Shepard. Run by Talia Della Peruta. The fans not happy about it. And the clock is an enemy of the Cougars now with 20 minutes and change left. UNC trying to go to a 30-second College Cup.
Shepard just gives her a little hip check. A pedestrian foul, but a good call nonetheless.
Richard McCarthy going to check in for BYU in a moment. BYU fans are like, go. That one hurt Foligno a little bit. Deline. Stratton gives it away. Patterson. Here's Meza. The 3 goals came in the first 20 minutes for UNC. Corner kick for the Tar Heels. A lot of corners early for UNC, not a ton recently, 8th of the game.
Well, again, I think that comes from BYU's adaptions that we've been talking about possessing. But part of that is on their defense. They're being a bit smarter and keeping the ball in front of them, so that doesn't go over the end line and give away too many unnecessary corners.
Emily Moxley from Cary, North Carolina, trying to play in that College Cup in her hometown. Hernez comes out. And then Foligno blasts it.
No, it's fascinating between these two teams. Both have so many hometown players. UNC with plenty of players from North Carolina and Utah with a plethora, or excuse me, BYU with a plethora of players from Utah.
And you know what a plethora means, too. Under 20 to go. Ball's going to skip out. Should see Rachel McCarthy come in.
In for the Cougars, number 33, Rachel.
Ellie Bourne out.
Cougars have not been going to the bench as much as they typically do. Hoping for McCarthy to bring that little spark. And McCarthy really is that. She's incredibly fast.
Mozingo. BYU beat Utah State, USC, and Michigan State to get here. UNC beat Towson, Alabama, and Texas Tech. Winner gets Stanford. Wade Katoa the post.
Wow, what
An
a
unlucky
shot.
bounce.
Beautiful look by Wade Katoa. Absolutely bad luck as it just bounces off the post and no one's there. It kind of just lingers on top of the 6-yard box.
The irony is that is not a shot on goal, but what a shot it was.
Wow, absolutely beautiful. And Allen wasn't going to get that one.
Walbrook made a run at it, but it went to the other side.
Yeah, just bad luck for Wade Katoa, but a good look. Another player who has scored multiple times in this NCAA tournament. She's a player that I wouldn't be surprised entering the draft.
Yeah, how many NWSL or other pro players are we going to see in 5 years out of this game?
Multiple, no doubt. So much
bunch,
talent
right?
on this field from both the Tar Heels and BYU, both programs who consistently send players to the NCAA, or excuse me, to the NWSL.
A lot of U20, U23 USA players from North Carolina. So keep an eye on this squad in the next couple of years for sure. And this year, frankly. A couple of BYU players this week announcing they're coming back to the Utah Royals in NWSL.
Yeah, my teammate, Michelle
Michelle
Vasconcelos.
Vasconcelos, so that'll be fun to watch.
I'll
Hey,
take
Ashley Hatch, come on back. She's doing great work in D.C. Foul on Bella Folino. Free kick for UNC. And BYU running out of time here. Still time to get a goal or two.
Yeah, it makes you
But
wonder.
has the game-winning goal already been scored?
It makes you wonder that goal by Wade Katoa, how the game would have changed had that just been 1 or 2 inches inside.
Oh, my. Yeah.
And UNC content to take their time. 60 minutes left in this game.
In the multiverse, in one timeline, that ball went in. Meza. UNC can put this thing away for sure with one more, too. Offside. Who knows? It might already be over. Or maybe BYU gets a goal, makes this interesting, perhaps gets 2. If you're UNC, you have nightmares about a late goal, tying things up after the national championship. Last year against UCLA, who did it with 16 seconds left. Can BYU get one to be within that one shot? 16 minutes left. Della Peruta. Conversation going to be had here with Talia. Fans upset, but they do stop the clock for that, and now they should resume it. One of the differences of NCAA soccer versus FIFA. Vaca on the long dribble. Shepard. Over to Stratton, Smith Griffiths asking for it. Mozingo in the corner. Gets the touch in front of the BYU bench. Walbrook, fancy footwork. And again, it gets deflected when it gets into the mixer. UNC does a good job of that. Smith Griffiths trying to get to the right foot. Hard from Delaney, but she draws the corner.
Good for BYU, staying resilient. But you're right, it makes it so hard to play against this UNC defense, is they have so many feet stabbing at the ball, that you never really get a clean, good look.
8th corner for BYU. And an opportunity here to cut it to 1. UNC packs them all but 2 inside the 6. Will BYU just lay it to the top of the 18 and take their chance or go inside? They go way outside of the box, this time to Kendall Peterson. Peterson low liner. And UNC gets the throw in off of McCarthy. A couple of subs coming in. Elgin has the nose plugged up, she's back in. Zoe Jacobs, a couple of defenders coming in. Deline out, and only 14 minutes left. We see many subs, if at all. Kendall Peterson out now for Zoe Jacobs.
And here it is, Coach Rockwood relying on her bench players to be able to come in and bring the energy, bring the spark. It's been an exhausting game for BYU as they've done quite a bit of chasing.
Yeah, down 3-0, it changes everything. Foul against Vaca in your approach. BYU always hustling and running around, but It is with a
they're always
sense of
fit team.
desperation and urgency that you would not have otherwise.
Yeah,
3.
I know, I agree. BYU's always a fit team, and you can see it out there. They don't look tired, but that being said, it helps to be able to go to your bench, rely on some of those players, get a little bit more juice, a little bit of spark. And it really just takes that first step against this UNC teams, as your first step has to be the most explosive one.
Switching field throw. Now BYU. Throw it in, trying to get a ball. Smith Griffiths, 13 minutes left. UNC trying to punch its ticket to play Stanford in the College Cup. Florida State on the other side of the bracket. Clemson and Penn State. The other quarterfinal to be played tomorrow. The College Cup on ESPNU next Friday, and the championship on Monday. Both these teams have been to the championship the last 2 years. The runners-up for BYU in 21, the runner-up last year, UNC in 22.
Offside,
the call.
UNC.
And the center official has been generous with every call. Shouldn't say every call, with many of the calls.
Wait a minute.
She's been stopping the clock. Usually the clock doesn't stop for an offside call, but there she
that was interesting, because the ball, I think, got away perhaps.
Yeah, called it there and then gave BYU some time to take a breather.
Walbrook. Wade Katoa. Smith Griffiths. Mozingo. BYU's most dangerous player perhaps. Into the box, sent back out. Zoe Jacobs, left foot, gets crunched on the tackle. Wade Katoa, deflection. That has been the story all night. Deflections, nothing clean for BYU at the goal. Very rarely, at least. Smith Griffiths battling. Goal kick. Much to the chagrin of the BYU crowd.
Yeah, lots of deflections, lots of blocks as players have been getting off shots. Lots of tackles, too. It's been very much a defensive game.
Now you look at that shot number and you go, hey, why is BYU down 3-1? There's a certain kind of, once you're up 3-0, the game sort of changes. Like in football, you'd be, oh, yeah, we got a ton of passing yards. Why didn't we win? Well, you were behind.
Right. Oh, and
the defense played you differently.
And Coach Dorrance mentioned that at halftime, right?
Look at that number.
He said, we're going to bring people back. You know, he had no shame in explaining this is what we're going to do, and it's part of, tactically responding to the game.
Bring our sixes back, have them sit. Emily Moxley and Emily Colton. What he means is our holding midfielders in that. Smith Griffiths goes down. Here's Shepard. It will take a call, says Jennifer Rockwood, to Jacqueline Metz, center official. Nice ball to McCarthy, and then she tries to give it back, but taken away by Emerson Elgin. Back in with that after that nosebleed. Patterson. Mozingo. All batted around on the midfield right now. McCarthy, too far. Time running out for BYU here. UNC, as Anson Dorrance said, we've got to hold on here the second half. Up 3-0.
And they've done pretty well. Did let in the one goal, as again, it was just kind of bouncing around. Not sure there's anything Allen could have done about that, as was perhaps a defensive error to leave Bella Folino with that half a second of space.
Wade Katoa, Mozingo, who needs a play, needs a moment. And that is going to go out for a corner. Set piece opportunity for BYU with under 10 to go. Elgin, oh, we're going double nostril now. That was quite the hit she took.
She heard your comment about the jersey.
Mozingo into the goal! BYU's within one. Hope reigns in Provo. How did that go in? Was that the Olympico?
Let's take another look at this replay. Beautiful corner kick coming in for Mozingo. There's a little bit of in-swinger curve.
Oh, it's hidden by Allen.
It's in the goal, Brecken Mozingo.
Olympico, my goodness.
Again, it has a curve on it, so it's curving in towards the goal. Allen just gets a fingertip on it.
It takes a touch
it comes
by Allen and Elgin.
Yeah, Elgin. There's not much Elgin can do. She's already in the goal. It's already crossed the line by the time it hits Elgin, but Brecken Mozingo, she says, I'm gonna take this one for myself from the corner line. You think about how hard that is on such an angle. And Ellie Walbrook immediately takes the ball out of the goal and runs to the center of the pitch because BYU wants to get things going as quickly as possible.
81st minute, BYU is within 1 with 9.5 to go, and now this crowd's really into it. Mozingo. Here's Shepard, BYU down 3-0, 20 minutes in. They've scored 2 now in the second half. Smith-Griffiths into the box, Foligno! Took a touch behind her, and everyone on pins and needles here in Provo now.
This is turning into quite the game. BYU and Brecken Mozingo with that second goal.
Every single BYU player or staffer is out of their seat now. Tough touch from Mozingo. And here's Sam Meza.
Just realized no one to play to.
Patterson. How about that goal from Mozingo? Got some help from UNC, but that ball was going in the goal. What a play. Foligno now. Unmarked right now. Walbrook! What a save! And Foligno in! We are tied! Oh my goodness! From down 3 to tied! Foligno's second of the game.
The brace for Foligno, and when her team needed it most, she needed that first goal to open up the scoring. They needed this third goal to equalize. An absolutely beautiful shot for Foligno, who takes it right off the volley, doesn't even hit the ground, uses the inside of her foot, and just under pressure puts it so nicely away. The senior Bella Foligno's been so big in this tournament, so big in tonight's game, and especially so big in the second half.
North Carolina scored its 3 goals in an 18-minute span. BYU scored its 3 in 21 minutes. Foligno, Mozingo, Foligno, the brace from Bella Foligno, engaged this week and now engaged in a good cause. 3-3.
Wow.
Oh my.
You said at the beginning of the broadcast, this is one of the biggest games in BYU program history. And based on how this game has been going, the biggest game. It'll be the largest comeback in championship history. The last one was in 2003.
Ole Miss led 3-0 in that game. Florida won 4-3.
Wow. What a match.
And now,
with the snow falling and the drama of this game.
Oh, this is like the best Hallmark movie ever. Smith-Griffiths. Inside the 18, UNC sends it forward. It is BYU on the front foot, not just with the momentum, but UNC has been pressed back. The nation's top offense has scored 3 against UNC tonight. It's just the 3rd game all year the Tar Heels have given up multiple goals.
BYU with the gas pedal, going forward. And you can just feel the energy is electric here. Not just because of the fans or BYU's bench being amped, but because BYU now equalized anyone's game at this point.
They have not allowed 3 all season. And it's a BYU throw-in. Listen to the crowd here. It's a lot of hot chocolate manifest in volume there. 3-3 with 7 to go. And if you're Stanford, who do you want out of this one? You could swing either way.
Yeah. No, I mean, either team.
Wade Katoa, good tackle. And grab in the middle of the park by Emily Colton.
Well, and this changes things for UNC because now they can't play so conservatively. They had dropped so many players back. Now they have to try to go for the goal.
Absolutely. This team is used to tying, not used to going to overtime, however. They eliminated that in the regular season. Brecken Mozingo with the right-footed cross, deflection. Here's Shepard. Good inside touch. Walbrook goes down, trying to draw Shepard up and over the goal. But it was a foul. Before that, was it? Nope, it was out of bounds for a goal kick. Sub in Kai Hayes coming in for Meza. Another look.
What a game. Walbrook again got a little shove. Was it enough to make the call? Probably not.
If you're just joining us, UNC led 3-0 in the first 20 minutes. In the second half, BYU scored in the 61st, 81st, 82nd to tie it up. 2 different 3-0 runs by each team. And the shots this half are stark. UNC takes it away. Shepard. McCarthy. Wheeling to her right. Walbrook in the box. Left foot. Emily Walbrook wide right.
What a shot. All BYU right now with the offensive power. UNC these last 5 minutes have not looked like themselves.
They are on their heels for one of the few times all year. They're not used to seeing a 3 on the board.
Yeah, they look a bit flustered out there on their defensive line. They're holding all right, but haven't really been able to build anything out of the back.
And it's weird, but BYU has settled in. It took 62 minutes. But BYU has answered down 3 to tied at 3. Unbelievable on this stage. Could have easily given up emotionally and physically in the snow. But BYU in front of its home crowd.
No, they never did.
Trying to best the team that knocked them out of the NCAA tournament in the Sweet 16 last year at Anson Dorrance Field.
And I will say, you know, UNC's had so much possession, so many offensive opportunities, but BYU never looked disheartened. Their body language and their confidence remained high.
And now an opportunity for UNC, who pushes forward for the first time in a while. Moxley, Emily Moxley, huge deflection by Stratton. Still in the box. Senor deflected. She's been amazing. Patterson takes a rip. Wide right. 3:40 to go.
UNC trying to get that 4th one. They haven't had too many looks in this half as they've been playing back.
But now they press.
Now they have to go forward. They've changed their formation. Now they have the 3 in the back, the 5 in the midfield now. Similar to the formation that we saw in the first half of this game.
Throwing at midfield for UNC. Should they be tied after 90, they will play 2 10-minute halves. No golden goal. They'll play the 20 minutes there, and if they're still tied after that, penalty kicks.
Well, we're 3 minutes away from what has been a day of overtimes.
This game deserves overtime. But we'll see here in the final 2:44. Shepard, aggressive pass over to Foligno. He's going to get to it with Elgin there. Mozingo, tough touch in the box there. Still in the box. Kai Hayes with perhaps a game and season saving deflection against Mozingo a moment ago, and that goes out for a goal kick. You look at the shots in this game. BYU turned into BYU. It took down 0-3 to do it, which is weird.
Yeah, I know how things have changed. That was what we said at halftime. BYU's got to get some shots off. They entered this.
They have.
Now 24.
My goodness. The goal kick headed straight down by Foligno, and then King trying to give Senor a run at it. If you're UNC, you need Senor involved. She had an assist and 2 goals. Ball gets away from Shepard. Check it now, there's Shepard. That was McCarthy. Mozingo now. Going at Elgin, getting into the box. Katoa to the left foot. Yes! Olivia White Katoa with the .39 left has put BYU up 4-3. Holy mackerel!
This has to be the craziest soccer game that has ever been played here at South Field.
Oh my goodness!
Wade Katoa, BYU down 3-0 for a majority of this game. And Wade Katoa puts it in the back corner, takes the false touch there, and you give her just enough of a window and she's gonna put it away. She's been doing that all season, but what matters most is she's able to do it right here in the quarterfinals against UNC.
89th minute, the go-ahead goal. 4 in a row for BYU after being down 0-3. This would tie one of the greatest comebacks in NCAA history in the tournament, and it's in the Elite Eight against mighty UNC for BYU. UNC trying to tie this thing into the box.
For the first time
Corner
this game,
kick.
BYU now with the upper hand.
It took 89 minutes. Corner kick for UNC. Can they tie it up and send this to OT? High and outside the 6. Still loose. Shot. Hernez is right there. And she will take her time on this one.
She's going to drop onto that, tell her defense, we got to be settled. We got to be settled in this last minute. She's going to send everything up. She's telling her team, clear it up, get it out of our defensive box.
Baca, possession will win it for BYU. They don't have to do anything crazy here. 40 seconds left. An unbelievable comeback by BYU. One for the ages. Perhaps the greatest in program history given the stakes. 30 seconds left. Walbrook keeps it alive. She can dribble into the corner and milk it. Throw in UNC, 15 seconds left. Tar Heels have to hurry.
Oh my goodness. What a game this has been, Jerem.
They're not even getting the ball in. There's no way that this thing's over. BYU just came back down 3-0 to go to its second ever College Cup. A comeback for the ages. We witnessed a miracle tonight, and the fans stormed the field.
Absolutely incredible. UNC 3-0 looked like they had this one locked away, had a majority of the possession in the shots, and in the second half, BYU came back with the answer. That was a game of grit. That was a game of grit and resiliency. And BYU truly showing what they're made of.
If you're UNC, that is a tough pill to swallow. Down 3-0. BYU scores 4 goals in the second half. 61st minute, Bella Foligno. 81st minute, Brecken Mozingo on the Olympico with some help. 82nd minute, Foligno ties it up. And Olivia Wade-Katoa, like she did against Utah a couple years ago, 89th minute go-ahead. And BYU, for the second time in 3 years, is headed to the College Cup, where they will play the Stanford Cardinals.